Good morning, my dear student. This is the third part of chapter number 1, the living world. So, yes, in the previous video we have talked about the different type of hierarchical classification. We have done up to family. So now the next level in the hierarchical classification is order. Alright. So in order, it is the next level of hierarchical classification that comes after family, and it consists of a group of related families consists of group of related families with few similarities. So therefore, the next hierarchical order, the next in the hierarchical classification, the next level is order, and order consists of group of related family with few similarities. So when you compare with the family, with the genus and with family, and also with species, the similarity between families in the order will be very less, and family in one order will be more closely related to each other than to families in any other order. So when we talk about families, so when I say family in one order, so one order will have many families, as I have already told you in the previous video regarding how the hierarchical classification are arranged. So it is not that family in one order will have different will be more similar to family in another order, right? So family in one order are more or less closely related to each other than to families in any other order. So in any other orders. So this is about order. Next, let's take an example, right? So when we talk about the example, the previous example, like cat, tiger, lion, right? See, all this dog. So all these animals, they belong to different genus, right? So the genus for tiger was Panthera, and for lion also it was Panthera, but for cat it was different, right? So it was Felis, and for dog also it is different. So therefore, when you look at the common character among them is that all of them are carnivores. Alright. All of them are carnivores. The food habit in all these animals, there is a common factor. Though they look similar, however, they are not interpretable among themselves. Therefore, they are not included in a species. They have different genus, they have different orders. They have different family. There are two family. You have Canidae for dog, alright, and for the remaining you have Felidae, right? So this order, they are different, but then since they have a similar character, that is, they all are carnivores, they belong to the order Carnivora, right? So though they have the similarity in the character among these animals is that they all are carnivores, so they comes under order Carnivora, right? So this is about the order. Order is a higher category. You can say when you ask what is order in a hierarchical classification, you can say that order is a higher category with assemblage of family. Order is a higher category in an assemblage of family. It consists of many family are assembled together and form orders, and this family will have very few similarity among themselves. So this is about order, right? So let's get to the next higher hierarchical level, or the next level in the hierarchical classification. So the next level is after order. It is class. Comes the class. So the next level after order, you have genus, you have species. Just a recap: species, genus, and then you have family, right? And order. Up to here we have reached, and you can see that as you go from species to order, the number of similar character decreases, right? So after order, the next level in hierarchical classification that we will study is class. So you have species, genus, family, order, class. In class consists of closely related group orders with very few similar character again. So when you compare with all the character present in order and class, then class will have all those assemblance of order that have few similar characters. So class consists of group of orders with few similarity. Right. So therefore, the level of class is also a higher category. It's a higher category compared to order, and it consists of very few similarities. So the orders in a class will have very few similarity when you compare the families in an order. All right. So for example, let's take an example like the cat, dogs. This example, cat, dogs, lion, tiger, human being, right? See, all these animals, they belongs to a group of class called class Mammalia. All right. Why Mammalia? Because the mammals are able to give birth to young one. Number one character, which are similar. You can see a cat giving birth to a cat. They don't lay eggs, right? And then you can also see human being giving birth to young one. So these are the similar character. We are warm-blooded. We have warm-blooded. The outside temperature does not, our body temperature does not fluctuate depending on the external environment. We have a constant body temperature, presence of mammary glands. Alright, these all are the character of Mammalia, and these characters can be seen in both human. Alright, it also can be seen in tiger, lion, cow, dog, etc. Right, so therefore they comes under the class Mammalia, but then they are divided into order called Primata. Alright, so order Primata and order Carnivora. Right, so since their food habit is carnivorous, and they are carnivorous, they comes under order Carnivora, and all those non-primates comes under Carnivora, and this Primata, order Primata, will have animals like human, apes, gorilla, monkey, so they comes under the order Primata, but then they have the same class Mammalia because they have certain features, though it is few in numbers, but they have certain features which are similar. So in cat also, in dog also, in human being or in sheep, in cow also, we all have mammary glands, and we give birth to young one, right? So these are all the characteristics of what the order of Primata and Carnivora. So they are carnivorous, but there are few similarities, therefore they are brought under class Mammalia. Right, so this is about how class has. So class Primata, order Primata and order Carnivora comes under the class Mammalia. And then let's take an example like the reptiles like snake, turtles, right? So they comes under class Reptilia because they lay eggs, right? And the mode of food habit also different, right? So some are insectivorous, right, and some are herbivorous also. So therefore, the class has order which are closely related, but they are not interpretable among themselves. You cannot interpret among themselves. Therefore, they are excluded from species, they are excluded from genus, they are excluded from family, and they are also excluded from order. So this is regarding class. The next hierarchical level in the taxonomical classification is phylum. As I have told you in the previous video that phylum is used exclusively for animals, alright, and division is for plants, right? So when you talk about the classification or naming a plant, you will use the word phylum, you will use the word division instead of phylum, and in case if you are talking about animals, then you are going to use division, right? So in case of phylum or division, it consists of group of related classes. So classes which are more or less related to each other are grouped under phylum. And what is the main thing? The main thing is that they have few similar features or characters. So the character, when you compare with those in the classes, the phylum will have lesser or few features. Understand? So let's take an example for phylum. Like you have phylum Chordata, that is for animal, and you have phylum in phylum Chordata, the animal will have notochord, the presence of notochord. Notochord is nothing but a hollow vertebral column. The presence of notochord, that is your vertebral column, the presence or absence of vertebral column will decide whether that particular animal belongs to chordata or not. Alright, those animals without a notochord comes under invertebrate. Alright, so animals like worms, insects, right? So they will not belong under chordate. And the next features is the presence or absence of dorsal hollow neural system. So the neural system, the position of the neural system also, the site is also one of the features to bring or to divide or to classify animal under phylum. Alright, so this is for animal. In case if animal has notochord, and notochord may be present at the larval stage or it can be retained throughout the adulthood, and the presence of dorsal hollow neural system also is, these two features are the deciding factor for the organism to be put under chordata. Those organisms which have these two features, regardless of whether they are carnivora or they are primata, right, they comes under phylum Chordata. So similarly for plants also you have division. So all those flowering plants will come under the division of Angiospermae, and also in case of rose it will be Magnoliophyta. Alright, so this Magnoliophyta and Angiospermae, they both are for flowering plants. Alright, you can see that there are certain plants which does not flower, so they comes under non-flowering group of plants. Alright, that is a gymnosperm. Understand? So Angiospermae and the Gymnospermae, and then the Magnoliophyta is just another term for flowering plants. So they are divided into division, and we divide, in case of plant we will use the word division, like division Angiospermae. Right, and then we have phylum Chordata, phylum not chordata, right? Those without notochord and those without a hollow neural system. So the neural system in the chordata are present at the dorsal surface of their body. So this is about phylum and the division. Division is exclusively for plant and phylum is for animal. The next and the highest level in the hierarchical classification, in the taxonomical classification or the taxonomic hierarchy, is kingdom. So initially what happened, biologists divide the whole of the plant kingdom into two class. That is, either they are plant or animal. So you have kingdom Plantae for plant and kingdom Animalia. So in Plantae and Animalia, but then when you talk about when we talk about the actual classification in the next chapter, we will be discussing more about what are the certain character. We will be going deep into detail about it. But just for a broad classification, the early biologists just divide animals or the organism present on the earth into kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. Animalia is for animal, which are heterotrophic in nature, and those organisms who can produce their own food comes under kingdom Plantae. So this is the group how you divide, alright. So it is the highest level in a hierarchical category, alright, and it includes in kingdom Plantae it includes all those of type of plant, and it will have various division. So it can be fungi, alright, plant, but then they are not able to produce their own food, and it can be also plant growing in desert, right, non-flowering plant, flowering plant. So these are all will be included. Next is Animalia. It includes all the kingdom, all the phylum or all the phyla. And it has all the animals present on the earth, right? So the various life form animals comes under kingdom Animalia, and it has various phyla, and it will have various divisions in case of plant. So let's take an example to have a better idea. In your textbook, please go through the table that gives about the botanical scientific name of plant or animals given there in the table, so please read that one. So for better understanding, let's take an example of human. Human belongs to, the botanical name of human is, species is, let's start from species. See, the species is sapiens, alright. As I have already told you in the beginning of the chapter that whenever you write a species and a generic name, you have to underline it. Then genus is Homo. This is modern man. This is the botanical or the class taxonomical hierarchy of a modern man. You have Homo erectus. You will study later on in evolution. So you have human erectus, Homo erectus, Homo habilis. They are ancient type of species of human, alright, so they are different. And then family, what is the family? That you belong to the family of Hominidae. I have already told you for family, please look up at the last two words of the word, that is AE. A family will always have AE at the end of the word. Then order, Primata, you have order Primata, and then you have class, Mammalia, and then you have phylum, Chordata. We all have Notochord, we all have vertebra, right? The backbone, and it belongs to, what is the kingdom? Kingdom is Animalia. So, see, human being belongs to animal. We are animal. Cow is also animal. Dog is also an animal. We belong to Chordata, right? We have dorsal notochord. But insect, let's take an example, cockroach or earthworm is also an insect. But do they have dorsal notochord? No, so they belong to another category, right? Mammalia, we have similar features like the character of mammal with dog, cow, etc. So it comes under mammal. But Primata, we are different with those of cow and goat and dog and sheep in few characters. So we belong to Primata. Alright, Primata includes gorilla, monkey, and human being. Then we have Hominidae. We have Hominidae. Hominidae is for the family that belongs to human. Alright, and then our genus is Homo and the species is Sapiens. So it is the botanical name or the taxonomical hierarchy, how we are going to represent the taxonomical hierarchy of modern man. Alright, but this is different for ancient men or the early men. You have Homo erectus, Homo habilis, that we will be discussing more. Alright, in the later chapters. So this is all I have about the taxonomical hierarchy, and you can see that as you go up or as you go down from species to the next higher hierarchical level, you can see that there is decrease in the similarity of character. Alright, all the species will have more similarity among themselves than genus and family, than order, class, phylum, and kingdom, and so on. So therefore this is about the taxonomical hierarchy. Next topic is taxonomical aids. So when I say aids, aids means help. Help. So anything, any technique, any procedure that is helpful in the taxonomical classification of an organism is taxonomical aids. Alright, and this taxonomical aid will consist of collections of specimen. It will be both plants and animal species, and it is the prime source of information. Alright, it is essential, it is very essential and the prime source of information during nomenclature, during identification and during classification. So all those classification nomenclature that we have studied in the previous chapter is possible only because of taxonomical aids, and taxonomical aids is very important. And when we ask what is taxonomical aids is the specimen of plants and animal. Alright, it's a collection. Alright, we are going to collect plants and animal, and then this help in identification of an organism. When you are able to, when you find a new plant, you are going to compare with the specimen already present in your collection, and then you are going to decide whether this new organism that you have discovered is already been named, or is it going to be a very new one. So this is how taxonomical came into picture, and it is very helpful in the taxonomy, that is the branch of study where we try to identify an organism and where we try to classify and where we try to give a name for the plant. So in nomenclature, in identification and in classification, taxonomical aids play a very important role. So there are a couple of ways to maintain a taxonomical aids. So the species in a taxonomical aid, there are a few couple of way or a few couple of technique and procedure which we have to follow while maintaining taxonomical aids. Right? So these taxonomical aids are stored and preserved in book cell. So taxonomical aids are nothing but it is there are certain, for maintaining a taxonomic aids we need certain procedures, certain techniques to store and preserve the information as well as the specimen. So we cannot simply just store the specimen, but we need details, we need information about the species, about the plant, about that animal, where it is from. So therefore there are a few taxonomical aids that we have to study. So it's herbarium is one of them. Then you have botanical garden, right? Then you also have museum. Then you have zoological park. So these are a few taxonomical aids that is very helpful in identification of plants or animals, and they also store what is taxonomical aids. Taxonomical aids are nothing but specimens of plants and animals which are preserved, right? So it is preserved so that you can compare with any new organism or any new plant that you discover. So these are the few places where you will find taxonomical aids and you will find a specimen. Herbarium, let's go to herbarium. Herbariums are nothing but, when you say herbarium, the word herb means short plants, right? So when these short plants are pressed, are dried and placed on a sheet of paper, right? It will have leaf, it will have all those morphology of the plant, and when you paste it, and then it has the detailed information about the plant, that is where the plant belongs to, where it is located, what is the type of the leaf present in them, how are the stem, alright, so is it the stem smooth or does it have hairs, right? All these details are present along with the plant. Along with this plant, you have all the information about the plant. So this represents the herbarium. So a herbarium is nothing but it is a storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dried, pressed and preserved on sheet. So herbarium is what is herbarium? Herbarium is a storehouse. Herbarium is a storehouse where it houses or where it has dried plants which are pressed and preserved on a sheet. So herbarium is a storehouse. Herbarium is a storehouse of collected plant specimen, alright, they are dry, so they are dry, they are left dry, pressed and preserved on a sheet. So this is herbarium. Alright, so this herbarium not only will have the plant, it will also contain the information about the plant, from where it is collected, who is the person who collected this, who is the person who identified this plant, what is the type of the morphological feature, what is how the flowers are, is it the flower, what is the color of the flower, how the leaf are, how the stem are. So it will have all the information, location, family, genus, everything. It will have everything. So herbarium is a storehouse, and a herbarium sheet will have a plant specimen along with all those details about the plant. So this herbarium are arranged in a block in a storehouse, and they are regulated in a proper manner. Alright, they all have a numbering, just like books are arranged in a library. Herbarium are also maintained in a storehouse in a very regulated proper manner, so that when you try to when anybody try to identify a plant, or when they try to understand a plant, they will be able to find it very easily. So that's how herbarium are maintained, and herbarium are, this is how herbarium, technological aid of herbarium are used to. So these are the way how herbarium are done. And the next is a botanical garden. Right, so a botanical garden is a place, is a selected place where plant specimens are collected alive. So the plant specimens are not dry, they are grown in their natural habitat. So they are grown, but then they have a label. All the plants grown in a botanical garden will have a label. This label will contain all the information about the plant, like the family, genus, either it is a flowering plant or a non-flowering plant. So in case of botanical garden, the difference between herbarium and botanical garden is that botanical garden will house living plant. Alright, it will have living plant, and every detail of that particular plant will be put up on a signboard, alright, near it or on the plant itself. So it contains living plant collection. So a botanical garden will have living plant collections. Alright, and this plant can be used for reference because they have a label which contain all the details about the plant, about its location, where it is found, origin of the plant, name of the plant, scientific name, common name, vernacular name means local name, right? So it has everything, and this plant can be used as a reference for study of other plants or for study of the plant itself. Alright, so this is about botanical garden. Next taxonomical aid is your museum. Museum is also a building. We all know we visit museum also. It is a building which holds collection of preserved plant and animals. So it will have plant and animals. Alright, both plants and animal, but the plant and animal are preserved. You can see that in museum, the plant species are collected in a jar. The jar has a chemical. All right, they will be stored in that jar along with the chemical. Some are only the fur. Okay, some are only the bones. So this is how a museum store plant and animals. All right, and they are also used for reference purpose. Alright, so the plant and animal species in a museum are also used for reference purpose, and it houses dead plant and animals. So the animal in the museum will be dead. Alright, and they can be stored in a jar, or they can be only of fur, alright, and they can be only of bones. Understand? So this is how a museum store the specimen. Next is the zoological park. Zoological park are nothing but your zoo. Alright. So in zoo, in your surrounding you see plants and animals, but then like cat, dog and animal, but there are certain animals which are present in forests, which live in wild. So this animal, you cannot see in our day-to-day life. They need a different type of habitat. They have to stay in their own habitat. So zoological park are those areas where it houses animals, in their natural habitat. So they house animals similar to their natural habitat. So the wild animals are kept in zoological park, and the habitat and the place in the zoological park are maintained in such a way that it is similar to the habitat where they are originally belongs, and the environment are protected and they are kept under human protection. So zoological park are similar. Zoological park have habitat, or the places, or where the place the animal are kept have similar habitat with that of the wild, where they belong naturally. Alright, so the wild animal like lion, tiger, bear, elephant, they all are kept in zoological park, and the environment is under human protection. Alright, and the habitat are similar to the natural environment where they belong. Right, so there are few others taxonomical aids like key. Alright, key is a type of taxonomical aid. It is used for identification of both plant and animal. Taxonomical aid called key. Identification of plants and animal. In taxonomical aid, you know what happens? You take a character. One character is chosen and another is rejected. So when you talk about key, then when you talk about a plant having flower and the one without no flower, if the plant has a flowering character, you take the flowering character and discard the non-flowering character. So this is how a key works. Alright. In case of key, the similarity and the dissimilarity are, the identification of plant are based on the similarity and dissimilarity. Alright, so it is based on dissimilarity and similarity. In fact, it is based on contrasting character. Alright, it is based on contrasting character. Contrasting character means the character which are contrast to each other, which are different to each other. For example, let's say bear fruits does not bear fruit. So these are two contrasting characters. So they take the example of two contrasting characters which are called couplet. So what is contrasting character? Contrasting character is nothing but it is called the couplet. Alright, and it is a choice needed between two opposite options. So couplet are a choice needed between two opposite options. Its statement in a key is called lead. So lead is nothing but the statement in a key. The contrasting character is couplet and the statement in a key is lead. So this is about key, and we have separate taxonomic key are required for each taxonomic character, such as family, genus, species for identification purpose. And we are going to have when you use key as a taxonomical aid, it is going to have its taxonomic categories like family, genus. They all have different keys for each other. They are going to have different keys. Alright, so they are going to have different similarity and dissimilarity character. When I say that it is going to have a similar separate taxonomic key, it means, like for example, let's take family, then family will have a separate key, separate similarity and dissimilarity. Genus is going to have another separate similarity and dissimilarity. So there will be no mixing above, right? So therefore, when we look at key, we find that key is analytical in nature. That means you need to analyze and you need to decide which one it would be, whether it is going to be this character number 1, or is it going to be character number 2. So first of all, for the identification of plant and animal, first of all you need to identify, you need to look into the keys, and the keys will give you whether it will be character A or it will be character B. So this is how key works. Alright, and in case of there are also other type of taxonomical aid other than keys, museum, herbarium, zoological park. Few of them are listed in your books. So let's look at them and let's try to understand what are they. So you have other type like flora, okay, and you also have manuals. Alright, these are all taxonomical aids. Alright, few taxonomical aids, and you also have monographs. Right. So in case of flora, it will have actual account of plant habitat. So from where that plant is coming, from where that plant is, at what particular area, at what particular region the plant is found, what are the basic character of that region are contained in flora. And habitat and its distribution also, where it is distributed. Is it present in the hilly area, or is it present in the coastal region? Is it present in the rainforest? So the flora has the information regarding the actual account of plant habitat and distribution. And when I say flora, then in fact it is the index. So what is index? Index is the contain, right? What all are contained. The front page of your textbook always have a contain what are present inside the textbook. So this flora is nothing but the contain or the index of the plant. Alright. Next is manual. Manual is useful in providing information about the needs of the specimen found in the area. So manual are useful in providing information for identification. It is also used for identification purpose. Manual are also used for identification purpose, but the identification purpose is mainly for naming. Okay, if you want to give a name computer, then you can use manuals, alright, and it will give you about the specific area where the plants are found. Next is monograph. This monograph will contain information of any one taxon. So what is taxon? Taxon is the best category. Alright, it's a singular form of taxa, and monograph will have the information of any one taxon. So let's take an example like family. The similarity present in the family taxon will be present in one monograph. So this is all I have for chapter number 1, the living world. Thank you, class.